Holy shit. Hello, hello? Is it fixed? That wasn't supposed to have sound. That's not supposed to have sound. That video, that stock footage shouldn't have sound. I fucked it all up, cunt. Is that good? It's fine? Is it fine? Turn your voice up? My voice should be fine. We cool? Okay. How you doing, everybody? Husky here today for the AEST Rejects Show. For the pre-show, it's just going to be me today, at least for the interviews. Really big episode today. We have me and SlipGyp actually hosting the interviews with Joel and Jordation. Joel from Ground Zero, the head coach, and Jordation, the Hitscan for Direwolves. Big games. As you can see below, right now we have the Paradigm vs Power Anchors game up first. After that, we have the Warriors I-40 game, which is another really... That's actually a really good game in itself. Very exciting. At 8:30, we have our highlighted match of the week for week 4 of Contenders. Ground Zero Gaming versus... what's it called? Ground Zero Gaming versus Direwolves, the highlighted match of the week. And then for our last match at 10 PM, another good game, I think that could be pretty fun, is Mindfreak versus Forgiver. Is this copy-pasted from the Contender stream? No, I made this myself. And it's some stock footage of Sydney behind it. Heard Slip's having camera issues? Bro, if there's another Barry, I'm fucking banned on Twitch, man. There better not be. But yeah, today's interview should be really, really good. Slip's a funny cunt, man, and hopefully he's entertaining for you guys. Everyone old from Mindfreak's last roster. Joel used to head coach Mindfreak with Geordie last season, and SlipGyp is off tank as well. The winning team from last season, you probably all know them. Cabby Mars, thanks for the follow, brother. Yeah, so interview should be really, really big and funny. I got them waiting, so let me get them in now. MF win, boys. Hold on a second here. Hello, everybody. Oh yeah, I need to undeafen. Wait a second.
To avoid.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, hello.
Hey,
Hello. What is going on? Slip, do you have video?
Yeah, it won't be a cock, I promise.
All right. I'll be banned if it is, so that'll be sad.
So your whole career is in my hand right now?
Yeah,
Risky
essentially.
play.
It is a risky player, but
You ready?
yeah.
It's just me.
It's him. Good. All right.
Good looking guy.
That's perfect. So how we doing, everybody? How are you guys?
Good, bro.
Good.
Chilling.
Chilling. Awesome. Well, yeah. Special guest Slip today has this video on. We all love SlipGyp. We got Jordation doing a nang right there under me, and Joel, all professional as a coach. Oh, sorry, blowing a balloon. My bad.
Yeah.
So, I know you all were together last season on Mindfreak, which is really cool to have you all here together. Did you guys find that really exciting, winning the Contenders season, and like, was that a very memorable point in your Overwatch careers?
No.
No? Cool.
Yeah, that was my favorite win.
Your favorite?
Really?
By far.
Wow.
Oh yeah, by far.
Why is that the
That
favorite?
was like, it was just like the most deserved win any team had got. Like, I don't know, every other team that I'd been on, we just had like the best players the whole time, and there was no question we were gonna win or not every season.
Mhm.
But this one was like, I don't know, like I worked the hardest I've ever worked. The roster I was with worked harder than any roster I've been with before.
That's good.
Like Joel included, everyone just put in so much fucking work to like overcome what seemed like a massive hill at the start.
Yeah, because I think like on paper for the whole season, me included, like everybody was just like, yeah, Ground Zero, like best players on like almost every role, like can't really win. It's just GG. Like they just won the season. I was like Sign, CKM, Adam, like all those big names. It's just like crazy. Like how do you lose, right? And then they did, and you guys beat them, and it was very impressive. Like I didn't expect you guys to win at all. I was like, there's no way, and you pulled it back and proved everybody wrong. So it was very impressive. You guys worked very hard and weren't just sticking around on Valorant or like not scrimming or doing dumb shit. Like you guys like put in a lot of work to the very end and popped off. So you guys deserved it very much. Yeah.
For me, it's quite fulfilling as well, because the season prior, you know, making MEO, not getting quite the win against Order, and then finally getting that step ahead in being Victor. So it is definitely fulfilling. But yeah, it was a big challenge, but that's what I enjoy, honestly. So
yeah, fair enough. What else did I want to say? Oh yeah, so Jordy, big win last week, I guess, or maybe not so big, but you know, proved that you guys are a very good team, Direwolves, and rolled Paradigm as you probably would have expected. Did you find that match easier than expected? I was a bit surprised that it was a 3-0, but
Yeah, actually, it was. Like, since we stopped scrimming them, we thought they'd improve, but they just didn't. So.
Okay, fair enough. So they just weren't very good. I saw there was a lot of mistakes. You were able to capitalize a lot on the Widow and just kill everything. I remember you got the flanking 4K on Numbani.
Oh, yeah.
It was very, very impressive.
I think Breezy's only counter is the Widow recontest on the last fight. If you remember the game versus Ground Zero, they would have capped with like a 5-minute time bank on Kingsrow, but Nami came out on Widow and killed like 4 again.
Unfortunate. I mean, sometimes mistakes happen. It's a critical error, but yeah. Do you think this is going to be like your biggest match of the season so far?
Well, yeah, I'd hope so.
Yeah, you'd hope so. I think Ground Zero is looking really good.
We're having a little chat before, and I don't know, like we haven't scrimmed Ground Zero since before the season started. So I've really like no gauge on how good they are, and I assume they don't really have much of a gauge on how good we are either. But depending how this game goes, I think the Mindfreak game next week might be a bit harder.
Interesting. Slip, how do you think your team compares to Direwolves actually right now? Because you had a really close series against Ground Zero. No one really expected you guys to come that close. Everyone kind of thought you just lose since you guys weren't scrimming, but like your team has a lot of very mechanically skilled DPS, and like I don't know, you guys all just kind of popped off. Even though you lost, it was very close. Do you guys think you would have put a better fight against Ground Zero than as Direwolves will today?
I think versing them first week was probably like the worst time for us to verse them. It was the first time we'd like gotten together and sat in the Discord together, pretty much. We had a fuck around thing, which we made some videos before that, but that was like literally a troll thing. So what I noticed about GZ, honestly, was they weren't as strong as, I think they've carried over the name from last season. I don't know. I think they have some really consistent players. I think Adam's like by far the best on that team.
I think everyone can agree with that.
I don't think they're as far ahead as like I think they put themselves up on a pedestal, and like all the talk in the scene is that they're number one by miles and they're sort of going to stomp everyone. One, I don't even know if that's true, and two, I don't think that's a good spot. I think that's a bad thing that they put themselves there, because like even today's game, it's almost good if Direwolves win, because it just is like the story like last season where it doesn't matter. They lost regular season. They come back in the playoffs and win the whole thing. There's just not much pressure. Where if they lose today, it's just bragging. You know what I mean? They're just going to get shit on by everyone.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if GZ are, especially after versing Warriors, and they made us sweat a lot more as well.
Really? Okay.
Well, more than we thought they would. I just think teams are closer together than like this hierarchy that everyone's like pointed out, and I think games like this tonight are gonna like really set the like concrete in where people are actually sitting.
Yeah, I'm not even sure about my prediction for it yet. I think I want to predict GZ will win, but I'm not really sure by how much. And I'm definitely like I can definitely see an upset happening. It's gonna be a really big match. Joel, what are your thoughts on tonight, and like how much preparation have you guys been putting in over at GZ for this match?
It's definitely been one of those matches where at the start of the season you eye it off, and you know eventually it creeps up on you. So the players are definitely eager for the challenge. There's no doubt about that. And as Jordy kind of mentioned before, there hasn't been any real gauge because we haven't really scrimmed each other since the season started. So it's always the ifs and the buts, but I think at the end of the day, it's the best team will win, and it'll be a cracker of a match, and the players know that, and they'll just enjoy it. They'll froth it. They'll lap it up, and it's quite interesting because I think Slip kind of mentioned that the score was pretty even. It was a 3-2. Fortunately, we won in week 1 against Mindfreak, but I think that goes with any team. Like if you look back at week 1, and like we're a completely different team. Like we have improved quite a bit. I'm sure Direwolves as well, and so I think today will be a really interesting challenge for both teams.
Yeah, I think it's really about whoever shows up today, and just who plays the best Overwatch, right? Slip.
See, I'm worried
about
about Direwolves because of that though, because I know that a lot of their players, and Jordy, I don't know if like you agree with this, but there's like your players seem to have a wider range for performance. Like their best is really, really good and their worst is pretty bad. So it's like it can be a lot of mental, or it can be a lot of how they're feeling on the day. It's like a bit more of a dice roll on performance.
I actually think it's not so dice rolly. This team, all the players are really, really good individually. I think like the biggest issues we run into are like communication based and like people just like not saying things they need to. That only ever happens for us in scrims. And I think everyone plays so much better in officials because everyone's like way more hyped. Everyone is like talking between each other way more. So far at least, I know we haven't had like a super hard game, but so far it feels like the team just plays straight up better in officials.
I mean, Paradigm was, I think you could prove like they're good enough to like at least gauge against.
Yeah.
The fact that you came together for that, I think, shows.
Yeah. Looked
And
like
I
you guys had
think
a really
Joel-
good performance actually against them.
Joel, we were like surprised with how much GZ, because I thought they were the team that was the opposite, which were like tighter together with how they performed. But like against us, I know you guys say you've gotten better, but like there was some buckling happened from your side. Like,
Yeah.
I know it was a close game, but we came into the season. I think it's pretty obvious that we're just like there to make videos and fuck around, but also like win a little bit. But we were setting up outside the spawn on like nearly every map, I think, on defense first. Like
You were.
that, we were hard trolling, and I was just like roaming around on Hog on the last map. Like we didn't care right to the very last point, but you guys were still sweating, and I think that was like, I don't know what the answer is for that, because the only thing I've seen anyone say is Cuffer was like, our strats our comps got leaked.
That made me laugh so much.
That's pretty funny.
It just means
Cover
nothing.
said that in this chat the last time I was on the interview. Right. As if Mindfreak had done any preparation based on the leak strategy.
Yeah, with all their coaching staff and the masterminds at Mindfreak.
That's like equivalent to Bork calling them like double shield virgins or something after they lost.
Yeah, oh my
So it's not just that, but we were trolling a bit the whole, like right through. It wasn't like
on what's it called? What was that map? Hanamura? You literally set up at a Orisa Hog like in their spawn. I'm pretty sure. Like literally at the spawn doors. It's fuck.
So I don't know. My whole point about that is GZ like I saw more buckles from GZ than I thought there would be. Are you guys like, have you guys fixed that, or is that like a problem that you guys see in scrims and stuff, or is that just like a one-off game where we?
Definitely the first week was most challenging because we've diagnosed the problem, and I believe we've taken good steps to kind of fix it. So I think, as I said, I don't want to kind of bite my tongue here and hit back in the ass, but I feel like our buckling levels, I suppose you'd say, have quite decreased since we've kind of identified those issues. But at the same time, like Mindfreak, you fellows are well, like I knew you guys were quote unquote having you guys are enjoying yourselves. And sometimes that's the best way to play Overwatch, right? But you guys were well structured. You got really, really smart players, really mechanically skilled players. So I'm not too concerned about that scoreline. We have made leaps and bounds and improvements. So yeah,
but are we that much mechanically or that much organized that we're like, if we gave you that much a close run for your money setting outside your spawn, that's what I'm saying. Is Direwolves that much? Like, where do you place Direwolves then?
Oh, I guess
if you're a 10, just say your team's a 10. Where would you place Direwolves? Because you guys have been crowned as like the best in the region so far, I'd say.
Yeah.
Well, I think Direwolves are top 2. So
out of 10 though, if you guys are the standard, how close do you think they are to you, just off what you know?
That's the beauty of not screwing, man.
Yeah, I can't even.
Like, you don't know.
There's no expectations going into the game, and I think momentum in this match will be huge because of it. Because if you have no idea how you're going to do and you start off getting fucking stomped, it is going to be bad.
Like,
yeah, that's true.
Jordy, if you guys at Direwolves like have a really nice run on Koth and just like get a close win there, it's going to be really hard, I think, for the mentals on Ground Zero. And I think like especially with some younger players on Ground Zero, like I think BRS and Nami are like very mechanically skilled, but I don't know if like they have the mental fortitude to like grind through a whole big series the same
I
as
mean,
like Jordy and
Nelly,
Elva.
I know
Right?
that.
I'm about to say, I
Yeah.
think they're even in that scene now. They've
They kind of
they've
are.
molded players. There's not as many veterans around anymore.
It's actually true, yeah, because Ground Zero has like their veterans are like the supports and Adam, and then like almost Cuffer because he played last season, but like he's still a young
Nah,
player. He's
way.
still very inexperienced, right?
I played last season too, and I buckled the shit out.
Yeah. And then Jordy and Elva on his team, I would say, are very experienced, and then that's about it, really, right? Everyone else is
And
pretty
Jordy.
inexperienced. Yeah, Jordy and Elva, but then everyone else.
That's what I'm
is not
saying.
very-
They're much for muchness with that.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty similar. I think in terms of experience, I feel like GZ have the advantage. Like Bert,
probably
Adam,
do.
and Tung must provide a lot of
probably do.
leadership within the comms.
Yeah, seeing some clips actually on Twitter from the Florida Mayhem tournament thing that a lot of you guys played in NA. I don't think Direwolves did, but Mindfreak and Ground Zero did. Seeing some comms, it looks like Terry talks a lot and everything. Cuffer's
God
just
tier old
fucking
tracker.
Cuffer's just fucking screaming like a baby into the microphone, really like as loud as he can, and that's like seems really good. Yeah, so I don't know. How did you guys find the Florida Mayhem tournament?
Dog
Getting
shit. It was so
Oh,
early
yeah,
in the
it was
morning.
like trying to play on like, I mean, I was just spectating, so I can't really comment on what the players do. But playing an official 2 a.m. from like till 5 a.m. with very little breaks is very exhausting.
Rough. That's fucking rough.
Did you guys just throw versus Boston Academy? How'd you lose 3-0? Did you just
Well,
did the team
everyone
want to
just-
get out of there?
Yeah, at that point, you know, the players didn't really want.
Yeah.
Like you could tell that they were just.
Was that your
audibly
last game?
Tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a game that we lost in the lower bracket.
The third one. Yeah. Okay, by our third one as well, it was
'Cause-
no one wanted to try. It was
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
that, man. I think we had the option and we like talked about it, but yeah, we did it.
It's hard.
We did that shit last season on Mindfreak where we did the Fran tourney. You had to wake
Oh,
up heaps
yeah.
early and play in like the patch we had in Scrim, and it's just fucking awful.
It can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It was the same thing.
the NA people have like they practiced that patch like weeks beforehand, and
Yeah.
you know, we just got like we because we're busy prepping for contenders. That's more important to us, especially when we have a big game today coming up. So, you know, it's just very awkward conditions for everyone to play in an OCS. So, yeah, but at the end of it was just they just want to get over and done with.
I think the patch was really weird. Like seeing all these comps being played on this patch, I'm really like not sure. Like I don't know. Do you guys know what week this patch that we're on
Next
now is
week.
going to be? Next week? Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be really interesting. What kind of heroes
What do
do
you
you
mean
guys?
interesting? We win. Like
I
Mindfreak.
swear
they
to
Yeah,
should have
Mindfreak would.
contenders.
But like, what comps do you guys think? I don't want you to leak your strats or anything, but what comps
I'll
do you
leak.
guys?
We don't have
see?
strats.
Well,
I'll leak
yeah,
everything.
but what
It's just gonna-
comps
They're
do
gonna
you
play
think are good?
fucking
Like,
Hog. They have
is Hog
Slipgyp
gonna
on
be
the
that
team.
good? Is
I don't
Hog
know.
that good?
My opinion is that Double Shield will still be good. Maybe not
Double Shield
Orisa
will still
Sig,
be good.
but
okay.
I'm pretty sure Double Shield is still really good. And
Which
the comps
shield?
that people play, like Zar Hog, I swear to God that is dog shit, man. Like
It
your
must
enemy
be.
team picks Mercy and Zen, and then any hit scan hero, and your tanks cannot appear on the map without getting one shot.
Actually, true.
There's
I
a
think-
few changes. See, I think we're lucky. I'm not even kidding. With Carter, I don't know where he gets his info from, but when we started up that not Fran tournament, the Florida tournament, he was telling us all the different comps, the different strats. It was the team we were versing was telling us how they play it, and they did. There's all these different like niches on different maps that you can make minor swaps and play differently to get around shit. And it's like it was surprised the hell out of us because we didn't really believe it as well. But that stuff's stronger than what you think. But I don't think Jody's wrong. It's like
I think
it's not like Hog Zar isn't meta. It's just
there's just no way. Like in
People
pro,
are just having
I just
fun in
don't believe it.
matchmaking. I think that's
Yeah.
the bottom line.
but I think it can. No, I think it can be like.
Oh, I think so
it's
too.
not-
I
It
reckon
could be
on,
good on
Cop-
like yeah. Some Koth maps like Lee Jang Control Center and shit. Like it could probably work or some sort of shit like that. But I don't know. I feel like a team with like any sort of coordination and like good hit scan player with
Nah,
like
it still gets
not feeding
it's
supports,
harder.
like, there's-
it's harder than you think. Trust.
I don't know, I
We,
feel
we
like-
thought the same thing when we went into the American games. It's fucking crazy what you can do with some of these comps.
okay, interesting. Well, I'm really
Because you can be
excited to
organized
see
on
it.
the other end of it too. I know what you're saying. Where just organizing, you're gonna destroy the flanking hog, but
Yeah.
they're set up for counters around that as well, where
Yeah,
you'll bait
okay.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, it can be pretty
It's
advanced.
interesting.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of Chinese teams and Korean teams and stuff are like actually trying to get Hog Zarya to be good on some maps and stuff like that. So I think it'll be interesting to see when it goes up to Overwatch League, like what it'll look like. So then everyone in ranked isn't just playing Zahog, like feeling like it's quick play with no tanks, because it's quite frustrating, I think. Like, I don't know, I'm really awful at like both Zarya and Hog, I think. So it's like very difficult for me to like make it work as a Sig 1 trick. But yeah, I know you're probably having a blast slip because you love the Roadhog. Is that your favorite off tank, you would say?
Oh, I've been practicing Hog for, like, this is my time to shine. I don't like it in rank. I've never liked it in rank, unless... I was talking to someone about it the other day. I prefer Hog when he's not meta, because then I get to troll around and walk in people's backline. When he is meta, everyone's matching you and you're supposed to... And people get shitty for not playing it properly, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you can't flank Hog exactly
I'd rather play Zara in comp than Hog.
Fair enough. Yeah, okay.
We burst Direwolves that first patch too, so I already know Jordy's
shaking in my boots. That's fucked.
It's actually going to be really hard, I think, for Direwolves to win that week, I think, because...
Well, there's not much time to prep as well.
Yeah, there's not much time.
Thing.
Yeah, because, like...
Should be right. I think the scariest thing about Mindfreak is, like, just like raw mechanics of most of the players on the team, and just, like, the DPS specifically, but, I don't know, we scrim Asian teams, we're used to versing people with good mechanics.
Yeah, I think...
Ain't nothing new.
Soggy and Nyang are just, like, on another level, man. And then, like, when you guys have Carter, I don't know how you're gonna like choose between Carter and Yang, but like both players are like crazy at like Hitscan in general. It's just, I don't know, I think it's like probably the most stacked DPS. Like, I think if Mindfreak was scrimming, they'd have a shot at #1, honestly.
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy.
I think with the new meta, we've got a shot at #1 without it as well.
I think so too, actually. Like, I think you can make stuff happen on Hog. Bus can, you know, have a laugh on whatever. Aki's still really good, by the way. Like, watching his YouTube videos and seeing his content, like, he's still really up there.
Everyone has underrated Aki since the beginning of time.
I think it's true,
man. He is so good.
He is,
and he was really good. So good, and he must have been good for a long time too.
Yeah, he's crazy. I've heard a few things that like he buckles in officials and stuff like that. Did you guys feel that? Last season, or not really?
Other people I've heard a few
people just made that up at MEO because Aki was looking a little pale on stage at MEO. And I think we were trying to Order was trying to like I don't know, like make him more nervous or something at LAN, but that's just like didn't show.
Aki was like Aki was like the most confident on LAN, actually.
Interesting.
Like, he took it well. He was like he took it like a champ.
Aki's a fucking champion player.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, the only thing we buckled is we've been putting Yang on the wrong heroes, I think, because his English is. We just need to put him on tap heroes, where we've been. We had a little aha moment last week where we're just like we're trying to run more organized comps when we're not an organized team, so we just need to go back to just like the chaos of everyone just running around and doing their own thing, and then
Yang opens up the fight.
Yeah, pretty much. Just let him frag out rather than. I don't know, having people trying to coordinate and like it just doesn't suit us. So
nothing wrong with playing to the strengths of your team.
Yeah, I think like trying to put like Yang on Sombra and stuff, like as Elfish guys just said in the chat, I don't think it's the best option. Probably putting him on something like Widow or Tracer.
Here's the thing, he's a really good Sombra, and everyone laughed at his Sombra last. Well, you had a laugh at his Sombra last week as well. I think people got to understand when they're watching, like Contenders and Overwatch League, especially. I saw it another game where some Overwatch League Sombra was getting like laughed at in the chat because he didn't get his EMP off. It's such a team enabling hero. It's generally not the Sombra play. It's how the team are like working around the Sombra.
Honestly, Sombra's the hardest DPS in the game as well. I feel like you have so many like possible decisions to make. It's really easy to look like a fucking idiot on that hero.
Yeah,
it's really hard to look good.
Yeah, it's Sombra's really interesting, and it's like the same thing with me. Like you want your most creative, like, innovative person on those two heroes.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Like in Overwatch League, like even the best Sombra players, like there are times where they just like fuck up their EMPs and they're like completely whiffed it. And everyone's like making fun of them. It's like, you know, it's a very team enabled thing, and like they probably have someone in their ear yelling like EMP now, and then like it just like fucks up and like it happens. I mean, I don't know. I think it's a hero that needs a lot of coordination. It's very tough. Is that why you think you're on it, Jordy, instead of Elva when you guys run like Sombra Tracer? Is it just comms or?
I don't think we've super set on either or of us playing Sombra or Tracer or whatever the heroes are in the comps. But for now, we made the decision. Like last week, I was on Sombra because a lot of it is like it's a really comms heavy hero.
Yeah.
Requires like a lot of just back and forth communication with the whole team and like talking about where people are. And it's a little harder for Elva just because he's not native English speaker.
Yeah, as well, like
his English is really good, but
Yeah.
it's like it has to be like a really constant thing on Sombra, I feel.
yeah, and also like his tracer is like very, very good as well. So it's not like you're losing out on anything there, really.
Yeah,
if
he's
playing it.
fucking insane on tracer.
Yeah,
I
his
was saying
tracer
just
is fucking crazy.
before you
man.
dragged us up, I was like, in like any team I've been on, I was never like comfortable giving tracer to the other DPS player for any reason.
Yeah,
But this
yeah.
team, like I was like quite happy to hand it over because he is
Yeah.
fucking insane on that
He
hero.
he is crazy. Like
He will just kill 6 sometimes, and we're like, all right, well we won the fight. Cool.
yeah, Elva is just so good, and even like on ping, like he doesn't seem affected at all. Like he had a really good performance last week as well. I'm really excited actually for the match tonight. Why don't we get into a few predictions here? Slip, what do you think your prediction is for the game? What do you think?
For the main game, like these two.
We can talk about all the games, but starting with
I
the
don't even
main
know
game.
who else is playing.
Okay, well we'll go first with Power Anchors versus Paradigm Shift.
Yeah, Paradigm Anchors are terrible.
Yeah. And what do you think about the next game? What's the next game after that? Let me wait. I know
we're last. It must be Warriors and
It's Warriors I-40.
I-40.
That's it. Who do you think wins that? I think that's actually going to be a really close game, honestly.
I hope I-40 wins.
I don't think
hope
they
I-40
will.
wins. I think Warriors. Here's what I think. They actually fucked us last week with that comp they ran with that Torb Sombra. It suited all their hero picks, and the only thing that really hard counters it felt like was the meta would smash it.
Yeah.
But we couldn't dive their backline, and Aki being alone all the time was getting minced. So I think if they play hard meta and they're good at it, they could beat Warriors because they don't have much that they can like move to because they don't want to play double shield. And that Zarya Monkey Tracer Sombra or even Torb Sombra, I mean, is strong against like not meta. It's a really well-rounded thing. So I think it could go either way, but I think Warriors will win as long as they don't buckle.
Yeah, I think Warriors has some really good players on paper. Like Quats is still very, very good, and like Lukey G is actually like I think a little nutter. Like he's actually up and coming. Like I don't think we're doing power rankings after this. Actually, I don't think his spot's really going to be any different, but I still think like he's a really good player, especially at Zarya. And I don't know, Bork. I think even though I know some Direwolves people don't really like Bork at the moment. Bork, I think that's not it, man.
Not how it is.
I can give you a tip on some ranking
No one fucking
stuff.
cares about Bork, man. He's just perpetuating his own like shit. I don't know.
I'll give you some legit advice that will help you rank things because it's something that I noticed when I jumped from like because I skyrocketed. I went from the shittest team to the best team in a season, and the thing that I noticed like between the good players and like the great players is. Like, I'll just give you an example. Like I think Lukey was farming. I think he's a really good player. I think he buckles when he doesn't know how to play against something new or when he just starts second guessing and just turns into a shit player. I think BRS did the same thing when we versed GZ in the first week. I've seen Zupa destroy people on Paradigm Shift, and then last week he did absolutely nothing. The good plays that you rate are people you see mince in comp and you see their really good performances, but it's always against shit teams. You can tell good players when they step up against. Like it'll be like the games tonight against like Direwolves and Ground Zero. The players who step up like Adam, who will still make the other players look like dog shit. That's the difference, and you don't get to see that in scrims and stuff. And that's what like
It's true.
I think that's why a lot of the people got annoyed at you when you were like ranking people
always
early.
get mad. Well,
you just go off what you can see, which isn't like a lot of the scrimming stuff. But that's the difference. Like what I just mentioned there is the difference between like the really good players and the good players.
And I definitely agree. I guess like I don't have the privilege of, being able to like watch all the scrims or knowing the intricacies of like who's actually better. It's like always just off like what I've seen like on stream or what I see it ranked. And it's, just like, I guess my opinion. It's definitely not fact, but it's always good to consider those sorts of things. And I think getting some more
I'm
insight
just saying
there
if you're
is
watching
good.
in the future, watch those games and watch who performs in the hard games, not like who's shit stopping.
I agree. Because, for example, like, I think I definitely underrated Nanda last time, for example. I think people were very mad that I put him at like, 6th or something? And I put like Zupa above him and I put Bennett Snurf above him. And I think now I might put Nanda a lot higher. And I don't want to say that just because like he's been farming in ranked recently and he got 4,500. He's actually like been performing really well in all the I-40 games and like absolutely like just rolling everybody. So yeah. Do you guys think Nando was definitely done dirty there, being a former Mindfreak?
I mean, we played with him. We know how good he is, so of course,
Yeah.
like
he's,
but
he's a mechanical nut. Actually, I think he's
Yes,
really
he
good.
is.
Keeps proving it over and over.
he's smarter than people think when when he's at his smartest. It's really smart. He just gets stuck in his head
creative
sometimes.
more than anything as well.
Creative.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
that's
he's
actually
got
a really
like
good word.
it's the same thing like Soggy has, and like I would say August had it too. Like it's the thing you can't really teach players, and some people are just creative, and it just is such a fucking crazy valuable asset to have as an Overwatch player. Like no matter what role, just being creative is the most important thing, I would say, above all
I
else.
agree.
Like above mechanics, above comms, being able to like do one-off things in an important match when it matters most, and being the first person to ever do it, that shit is what matters.
Yeah, I think that's a very crazy skill that not a lot of players have. So when there's like crazy mechanical players that can pull that out, it's like always very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goes hand in hand.
Yeah, definitely. What was the next match? Oh yeah, the Direwolves Ground Zero match, the highlighted match of the week. How do you guys all think it'll go? What are your predictions?
I think you guys have to say your. I think you guys have set answers, don't you? It'd be weird if you didn't.
I think
you go. Do you want to go? Oh, okay.
You go.
Okay. Well, I think it's going to be a close match no matter what, and I don't
think
really
so
like.
too.
I don't really like predicting our own matches, but obviously we're gunning for a win. Best case scenario is it's a 3-0, but at the same time we're aware of what Direwolves is capable of, and Jordy can pop off, and he's quite explosive. So it could be just a 3-2. But at the end of the day, we're gunning for a win, no matter how we do it.
I like it because you don't want to like overestimate. I think just saying a 3-0 would be a bit foolish. I think it could go. Yeah,
It goes for any team. Like you got to bring your A game. Like
true.
if
you gotta go
even
for the
if
3-0.
the best team, even if the best team in OCE or no matter what region like doesn't bring the A game to like some weak team, they can definitely catch them by surprise. So
Yeah, definitely.
it's really
It's very important to like bet on yourself and just like know that you can win and like always push for the win. Like I think if you guys just like last season, you probably wouldn't have won if you didn't have that mindset. It's very important to have, I think, for all players and teams. Jordy, what are you thinking for the match? What do you predict?
Well, also, obviously, we think we want to win. We've been trying, we've been putting in lots of work, lots of theory, just really hard practice from the whole team. So, I mean, I think we're in a position to win. It's not like on Mindfreak, it felt quite hopeless at times, and it was like I knew going into the games, I knew that we were behind them, and I knew that we were probably going to lose, and there was nothing we could do about it. But that was always fine because we knew we were gonna slow and steady burn throughout the whole season and do we did win when it mattered.
Yeah.
But I'm more confident, much more confident this time.
Okay. Cool. Slip, what are your predictions?
I don't know. I don't think anyone needs predictions. It's just going to be a good match. I think they both can win.
I think so.
And this doesn't matter because the patch is going to change after this. So it's kind of it's more of an ego duel, I guess, and it's more for the money than anything. I don't think it tells anything for playoffs, and I think it's just going to be a good. I'm finally glad there's a good match to watch. I think that's the bad thing about this layout versus last.
Yeah.
Layout is you get good games sporadically rather than at least. I don't know, GZ weren't dominating the regular season last season. It would have been good, and they didn't fuck us as fourth. It would have been good games every week, exciting games to watch. So
this format works better in regions where there are more than 2 or 3 competitive teams.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's kind of underwhelming when you see power rankers just getting butt fucked by Mindfreak or something, and it's just poor bugger logs, and it's not a good time for them.
Yeah. I mean, and when there's only 3 good teams, so I'll say. Ground Zero, Mindfreak, and us are the only teams that have games worth watching, and that means there's going to be 6 games the entire season of actually good content.
I think we have
4, right?
I think we have a few coming up. I think next week you go against Mindfreak, and I think Mindfreak has a good match the week after that or something. So
the battle for fourth's interesting too because Paradigm, I-40, and Warriors are all capable. I think
so too.
Of top 4. Some more than others, but that'll be good games regardless. That's another good one tonight is the I-40 Warriors, and then Warriors Paradigm should be huge.
Yeah, because I think I-40 has really good mechanics and has the potential to be that fourth spot, but Paradigm is obviously the most organized of those teams, right? but like, I don't know. Apparently Warriors has been them in scrims. Like, I don't really care about Scrimbox, and no one really should. But apparently, like, Warriors been them in a few scrims and stuff like that. And they think they're better, and they think Paradigm's like shit, and like they have some shit players, and like, you know, I've heard Jordy say like it's Dank and 5 bots, right? Like, you know, it's so yeah. And yeah, Dank is a very good player.
Dank and 5 bots actually. I think it's 6 bots now.
Yeah, today I think Dank is unavailable today, so you know, there is a fill-in from their coach Virginia in the match against Power Anchors. I don't think it'll change the result, but you know,
I think
that.
At this stage, like I know like a few mates from Paradigm Shift, so I hate to say this, but I think Warriors are just better at the moment.
Well, they're going to verse him in the new patch as well, don't forget. And I think Chaos will suit them like it suits us, rather than Paradigm, who hard scrim and meta.
I think it's true. I think like a lot of the players on Paradigm, or actually I don't really know, like I think Ike can kind of excel in like any environment when he's on like a comfort hero like Tracer. But I know, like, I feel like Breezy's probably not going to be great if he has to play Hog or something like that. Breezy's, I think, a very smart and, like, methodical type player that'll, like, have to, you know, think, like, be in a meta and, like, understand that meta and stuff like that. I think that probably goes for some of the supports, too, and stuff like that. I'm not really sure, yeah. But I don't know. I like P-Shift a lot, and I really hope they can be good. I think they deserve 4th, considering, like, how much work they put in. And I was kind of disappointed that they didn't put a better fight against Direwolves. I kind of expected Ground Zero to roll them, but I kind of thought it would be closer.
If you can't do better than the team that's not trying, you don't deserve to beat them in the placements. Like,
I think that's true as well. I agree with that too. I think they should be better, hopefully. But, you know, we'll see. And I think, what was the last match? Mindfreak versus Forgiver. I think that'll actually be a good match too. But really? I think you'll win, obviously. Like, right, like I obviously expect Mindfreak to like roll them, but I think Forgiver plays some wacky stuff and you guys play some wacky stuff, so it might be fun to watch, I think. Yeah. Do you have any?
I mean, we're just gonna counter them. I'll just be honest with it. Like, they run a Pharaoh player, we're just gonna be on Diva and put Yang on tap heroes, and one of us will shut him down.
Yeah,
it's not hard. We'll just play quicker than they will as well.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing with Forgiver. I know in the past I've lost to Forgiver many times on like my lower end contenders or higher like open div teams. I lost to them in trials to make contenders in the last match. Their DPS are like very mechanically skilled, and then like everyone else is like kind of okay. And if you just let their Pharah do whatever he wants, you'll just kill everyone. And that's like basically the thing. So playing fast is like, yeah, very good.
Yeah,
so
I think that's the biggest thing I learned last season. Shit teams have bad tempo and they just get smashed by players like that. So
yeah,
it's very true.
Is always like, I feel like that's probably one of the biggest thing that separates like good teams from like bad teams. It's always tempo in this game.
Yeah, whenever I would scrim a good team, like before we got blacklisted in Mingyun last season, we had a few scrims against No Weaver, and it just felt like, you know, they would just run over us, and like everyone was just doing whatever they want, and we were just like getting fucked the whole time. So it's like, I mean,
the classic Korean scrim experience is like constantly learning that you are never safe wherever you are walking on the map, and it is like you're like planning your next fight, you're tracking your ults, and then holy shit, there's 6 people on top of you at once.
Yeah, exactly. It's like really difficult. And it's a good learning experience because you can see like how good some of those teams that are ahead of you like are, and like why. And it like helps you kind of reflect on like why you're not as good of a player as them, and like why that team is better than yours and stuff like that. And it's not just like mechanics, it's like always a lot more than that. And like they think faster, they make decisions faster, just all of that is like very impressive, I think. Yeah. I think that about wraps it up. Do you guys have any last words for the stream?
I'm just a little disappointed that Ground Zero sent their dad on to talk on the show because they didn't want to.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I was disappointed in that.
Yeah, I asked Kuffa
They're a bit scared after what I did to Ike last week. It's understandable, but come on.
Calling Ike a virgin. I think Ike was pretty. He was left a bit speechless for that one.
Who said no?
Okay, so I asked Kuffa, and he said potentiously, and I said, what does that mean? And he said maybe, and I said, when will you know by it? He said, I'll think about it. And then I was like, okay, and then he didn't tell me, and then he was like, nah, I don't want to do it, Siebes. And Adam didn't reply to me, I'm pretty sure.
Ruined, man.
Yeah, Adam didn't want to talk to me. I asked Terry didn't reply either, and then I was like, hey Joel, because I know Joel a bit, played some Among Us, and I was like, hey, do you think you could get one of the guys? He's like, yeah, none of them want to do it. And then I made the tweet about it. I was pretty hurt by this. This felt mean. I'm in their team Discord, right? and I made a tweet about it, like announcing like, oh hey, you know, like your coach is coming on for an interview, and Adam banned me from the server, and he said type in the server again and I'll ban you. I said question mark and I was banned, and then Cuppa was mad that I posted the tweet in the server, so I was like, oh okay, whatever. But yeah, oh well. Joel's here.
Joel.
I think Joel's good to have. I like Joel.
Oh, we like Joel, but then the players, it's just different. It's just the players want to punch on more than like.
It's true.
I don't want to punch on with Joel, man. He's the homie.
exactly. Joel is the homie.
Yeah, that's why after I accepted, I said, no, I'm not shit talking. I'm like a humble.
Yeah,
person.
and I said that's fine. Like,
I knew Jordan was like keen to get a punch on with like Cuppa or whatever.
Yeah, I thought that would have been great.
I felt bad, but
it's okay. Maybe next time. Cuppa came on like before the season started for an interview, I think. When the night Barry was emerged from SlipGyp's desktop. I actually like got really fucked over for that. Like I got an email saying like you are warned on Twitch if you do one more thing, like you're banned for life, and they're like I don't know, it was all fucked.
Are you a real streamer though if you haven't had a warning?
I think that's true. But it wasn't my mistake. It was you.
It was 100% your mistake.
It was my mistake.
I'm gonna be honest, Husky. You should have known better.
I should have known better. Okay, I'll know for next time. I was a bit more careful this time. I made sure. I always make sure with my guests, hey, don't do anything weird. I might get banned. Made sure Slip wasn't gonna show a Barry today, which is good.
I just wanted the clip. I wouldn't do it again. I'm not a fucking. I'm gonna abuse the same trick.
Yeah, it's good. But yeah, thank you guys for everything. Really appreciate it. Good luck in your matches tonight. I'm very excited.
Good luck, boys.
Good luck. We'll get into
a banger of a match.
Yeah, it'll be great. I hope you guys are all gonna watch it. We got a watch party here with the hosts of the AEC Rejects, as well as Seeker from Dark
Mode South America, the champions of South America.
Yeah, the champions of South America, and his teammate Cabby Mas as well is gonna come join us for a watch party. So it'll be good. We'll keep it going. After this, guys, we're doing some power rankings, re-ranking everybody. I think this one will be a bit more accurate now that we've seen more. I think a lot of players were over or underrated in the last one, so getting a better idea now for the mid-season will be great. So yeah, thank you guys very much.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Have fun.
Fun.